what a scoundrel. Gassed of a town fool to go rob the crown jewel. He's like a Lego megalomaniac who's into electronic and techno, a real brainiac. Smack dab in the hip-hop gold rush. Be rather the old stuff, preferably the cold crush. It gets deeper than Deep Pack Chopper, except he keep us.
Hey, what's good, y'all? We're about to get back up in here. Do this video thing again. You know who it is. I need to introduce myself. It's your homie, the OG. That's how you know me. Alright. So, first off, if you ain't watched this video over here, that's the video I'm gonna be talking about real quick. Let me give a special shout out / thank you to all the new subscribers. Let me say thank you as well to everybody who posted up comments and stuff like that. You know, I'm trying to get the likes up, but the comments, yeah. Because I don't know if y'all know anything about how the YouTube thing works, but it's all on the algorithm. And it takes some motion to get you going in the waters, to get the algorithm to be like, okay, something's going on over here. And y'all's comments and all the other stuff like that helps. The views, the clicks, partial videos, full videos. Full videos absolutely bomb. Partial videos, give me a majority, hit the like button while y'all, but just as a thank y'all. And because it was doing so good, I'm like, damn, that's a topic people got some input on that topic. I was just kind of like seeing what was gonna happen. So I was kind of sitting back watching, I seen that one comment, and after the video was posted, I saw that one comment that the person said they went drowned before the video. I was like, damn, that's drastic. We don't have to go there, but all right, well, back away from the bridge. You do that. I'm kind of worried for you, I don't know. So I was just kind of like chilling to see where things was gonna go. But I didn't expect to get that much action. It was like 600 views. I was like, oh. If you look back on my past views, we went from like 20, 40, some of them is like 8, something like that. 600, yeah. Plus some subs, yeah. So I'm saying thank you. So we're gonna just use this as a talking point. I know I probably talked a whole lot, but it's gonna be a talking anyway. Let's go through the comments. Y'all ready? 39 comments. That don't look like 39. Is everything? Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. He said nobody wants to be downgraded from a developed nation to an undeveloped nation. Canadians have more freedoms and rights. I think we had about the same. What are y'all doing what do y'all got going on that's more freedom and more rights? That's not the first time I heard somebody say that, but nobody's like put a pin on what's actually going on. Because last I knew, we had about the same. We just call them different things. Americans, we have bigger military. Canadians, we have healthcare. Yeah, because the military is hurry up and wait, and your healthcare is hurry up and wait. So yeah, this is also true. We have bigger military. Y'all have healthcare. But you know what that healthcare does though? You also have higher tax. Y'all got taxation. I thought it was taxation living in Illinois. Y'all got tax. See, that's another thing that would happen. Your tax would come down because the way the tax works in the military, the way the tax works in the states, you would still have a separate tax rate. Because all the states are pretty much like their own countries. They almost function like their own countries. So you go from one state to one state, you might be paying like 9% tax versus 6% tax. Versus some states don't even have state tax and federal tax and different things like that. But that would actually make it easier for y'all to be able to keep your customs too, because like I know the Canadian flag is very important. I couldn't imagine a world without the Canadian flag because I'm just so used to seeing it. It'd be like, okay, now what? No, you can't change the flag. You gotta keep it the way it is. I like the maple leaf. I don't know what it's officially called, but I recognize the maple leaf. That's the rather drowned. That's the one I was talking about. Canadians think it's better for either California or Washington to become Canada's 11th province. That's the first I heard of that one. That's when I asked, how does Canada plan to maintain that? How does America plan to afford all of Canada? How does it plan to manage the health care? That's a good ass question. How does it manage maintain our governed entrance in our gun regulations? What are your gun regulations? I gotta look that up. How does Canada plan to maintain? Well, considering Canada maintains itself with a lot of subsidiaries / money from the United States, it would just be easier to just become part. And you get better benefits. Buying Canada in its own right? Nah, it wouldn't be a Canadian purchase. That sounds dirty. Purchase Canada? That sounds dirty. Buying Canada in its own right would be trillions, if not tens of trillions of dollars. No, that would be a treat. That would be more like, what is it called? I forget what that's called. It wouldn't be a purchase. That just sounds disgusting. Purchase Canada? That sounds dirty. All right, let me start over. That just, it gave me the, it's like coming out of a coal mine, you'd be all covered in soot. It just sounds dirty. Buying Canada. That just sounds wrong. Okay, let me restart. Buying Canada in its own right would be trillions, if not tens of trillions of dollars. Who's going to pay for that when the U.S. is 37 trillion in debt? Nah, we wouldn't be purchasing it, which is 10 trillion more than the GDP of the country. None of this is realistic, and it would never happen. It could happen if the Parliament and the what do we call ours officially? What do y'all call ours? The government? Because I think they're all governments. If our governments decided to just be like, hey, we'll take a vote on it, and it was like a vote, something like that, they would have to do it fair. They couldn't just like be like. I even heard some people on the news. Hold on, itchy ear. I've even heard some people in the news saying, using terminology like invasion and stuff. No, ain't no Americans going for no invasion of no Canada. That's the American people. We just, that's not a thing. The invasion of Canada, we, like you said, we too poor to buy Canada. It wouldn't be a purchase. It'd just be like, look, we could make your life easier. Everybody it could be a win-win. There's gonna be things that you ain't gonna like. And it ain't gonna do with no Trump, because he's only gonna be there for 4 years. So we're talking about long term. You gotta look past the nose. Some people are led by the nose and just get stuck on what Trump's doing. It's like, he ain't the whole story. But no, it wouldn't be no invasion, because the American people wouldn't stand for that, number one. Canada is the homies. You can't fuck with the homies. Where was I at? How's America plan to afford all of Canada? Well, you wouldn't have to be afforded. You would just be integrated into what we got going on here in a way that suits you. I would imagine that you would have a whole hell of a lot of say-so, being how many people is coming on board. I don't imagine that would be too difficult. You'd have votes and stuff like that. You'd be able to help decide the president. Your tax would go way down. Yeah, the healthcare would be different, but have you been looking into what Robert Kennedy's been trying to do with the healthcare. He's got a plan, and it's in order to help straighten that stuff up, starting with this red dye stuff. That's that, man. Yeah, we got some problems. Yeah, we are not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but that's one spot that the skirt came up on that one. The Statue of Liberty's skirt got lifted up when it came to the insurance. That's why we got Luigi. That's why we got that Luigi thing that happened. It was to send the message. I'm not sure what that whole situation is that, like, you know, the whole, I didn't read the manifesto because I'm like, I'll wait and see what happens. You know, I'll eventually end up coming across it. But yeah, so yeah. How does it manage, maintain, and govern interest in gun regulations? Yeah, I have to look up their gun regulations. I have to look up Canada's gun regulations. Matter of fact, what is Canada's gun regulations? Give me a browser. Firearms are federally regulated in Canada through the Firearms Act and Criminal Code. Sounds normal. And Canadian Firearms Program. A program operated within the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Much respect. I like the Mounted Police. The Canadian Mounted, I like them uniforms is sharp. They be stepping. That's another thing that's got to stay. You got to keep the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Canada is not Canada enough without the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. That's like taking hockey away from Canada. You crazy? Royal Canadian Mounted Police got to stay. Them uniforms be sharp. All right, so back to tape. Regulation is largely about licensing and registration of firearms. Sounds like what we have, including air guns with muzzle velocity. Y'all gotta regulate your air guns? Oh snap. Including air guns with muzzle velocity of more than 500 foot-pounds per second, or 150 meters a second, and muzzle energy greater than 4.2 pounds or 5.7 J. What's a J? Is that joules? What is J? Civilian ownership and use is legal with a license issued by the Canadian Police, of course. Sounds like us with the state police. You know what? That would be your state police. The Royal Canadian Mounted would be your state police. They would stay. That'd be easy. They would be your state police. And you would probably integrate the military either with the state police, you know, like outgoing military could go right into the military, or go right into the Canadian Mounted. You know, I don't know how your system works, but ours does like that. Usually people coming out of the military go into the police. You know, unless you got some civvies that train to get there. But okay. 4.2 civilian ownership and use is legal with a license issued by the RCMP, and there is generally no justification requirements. So that means you ain't got to have like a dangerous job to have a firearm. However, firearms and license holders are subject to heavy regulations. Ooh. And there are many types of firearms that are classed as prohibited. Concealed carry is prohibited outside of lawful profession. Oh, okay. Y'all got strict ones up there. You would actually probably, if you wanted to, you would probably end up sticking with these because you would have the power to govern that, so it would stay the same. You could just move to a different state without a passport. Civilian ownership and use is legal with a license issued by the RCMP, and there is generally no justification requirements. However, firearms and license holders are subject to heavy regulations, and there are many types of firearms that are classed as prohibited. Ooh, that's way stricter than what I got right here. Concealed carry is prohibited outside of lawful profession, i.e. security and trapping. Sounds like New York. Sounds like it, but just a little less strict than New York. Handgun registration became law in 1934. And automatic firearms registration, automatic firearms. Y'all get to carry automatic firearms? Oh, snap. And automatic firearms registration was added in 1951. In 1969, laws classified firearms as non-restricted, restricted, and prohibited. Starting in 79, people who wish to acquire firearms were obtained to get them through acquisition certificates of firearms acquisition certificates from their local police agency. That sounds pretty normal. From 95 to present, all firearm owners required to possess a firearms license, either possession and acquisition license, a PAL, a possession only license, a POL, and FAC, firearms acquisitions. We just learned that today. Or miner's license. In 2012, the Parliament of Canada enacted ending the Long Gun Registry Act to eliminate the requirement to register non-restricted firearms that had existed from 2001 to 2012. Huh. Yeah. Sounds like about the equivalent of what you would run into in New York. Kind of sounds a little bit close to Illinois too, but Illinois is more pushing against gun ownership because you got to have a card. You got to have a FOID card to even buy ammo. So there's some strictness. So yeah, you would keep your gun laws. If you chose to keep your gun laws, you could loosen your gun laws. It's up to you. Your gun laws are your gun laws. That's your borders. That's how it works down here anyway. No one messes with Texas. No one messes with anybody else. There's a few states. We have what's called reciprocation laws for gun owners for like concealed carries. So like, say somebody from Ohio can go to Pennsylvania without much worry about the gun laws being very different because they honor each other's licenses. And then you can go from like one of those two states to like, I think Texas does. I'm pretty sure Texas was, but you can look it up. So basically what gun owners here do is you just live where they're gun friendly according to whatever laws. If you choose to jump through all those extra hoops, then you choose to jump through all those extra hoops. Some people just don't want to move. You know, there's different circumstances with stuff that comes like that. But I just learned something today about Canada. All right. So your gun laws, you can keep them how you want them. If you want to keep them how they are, then that's what would happen, pretty much. We don't really... You would have the Second Amendment, number one. So you would have the power to have your gun laws in your state however you want, however y'all decide. If you kept them how you can just keep things how they are so they're not different. It's like, you know, if you see something better in what's going on, then, you know, vote. You could tell Trump was surprised. Yeah, there's a few times he was surprised. You could tell Trump was surprised and in disbelief by our response to his idea of Canada becoming part of America. Yes, I think there was a few of it. Like I said in the video, I was like, at first, it was kind of like a joke. But, and then it kind of started getting serious. And you can see it on Trump's face. He was like, wait, hold on. Y'all serious? That's hilarious. You're right about that one. Canada is listed as a full democracy with a total score of 8.89. The US is no longer listed as a full democracy, but is listed as a flawed democracy with a total score of 7.85. Why would Canada want to be downgraded? Well, my answer to that is because look at the last, what did they call it? The last regime. We'll go with that word. The last presidency that we had. Did that make sense to you? Is this outgoing actions that he's doing make sense to you? I understand why we got downgraded if that's the numbers that it is right now, but we're getting back to common sense. And as you can see, President Trump has had an effect over in the Middle East. Number one, the one thing you can say about President Trump is he gets respect. Number two, whether you like it or not, you got to respect his work. He does the presidency for free. He donates his entire presidency pay. It's just total dough. You can look it up. The last time he was president, he didn't take $1. He donated the entire paycheck. This time, he already said he's doing the same thing. It's like, you can't be mad at that. But these dictators and all this other stuff that is around this world and all this other stuff, they respect each other. They know each other is gonna be the one to be like, hey, you got to cut this out. They'll call each other out. That's what I'm saying. You got to cut this out. You got to have some balls when it comes to these people that's up around these worlds and stuff like that. You know, they got views that's way different than ours. Canada and the United States coming together as one, I think that would be a good idea. I like that idea. I like Canadians. I got a lot of good stuff up there too. I don't do too much maple, but I get it. I damn sure get it. Now, hey, we get y'all teamed up. Hey, get the Canadians teamed up with the hillbillies down south, down in Virginia and that thing, and get some good ass moonshine going. Oh, let me shut up. All right, Canada was listed. Okay, we just talked about that. Okay. The U.S. is definitely heavily reliant on Canadian resources. Huh? We are? I think we got a pretty decent trade relationship. I mean, you know what? You know what need to happen? Is Canada need to lower the price for us to send homies stuff, trying to send homies stuff that ain't available. Like, say we got something down here, it's expensive to send it up there. Damn! Especially at 60%, especially oil, 60% of that comes from Canada. There's 3 times more oil in Canada than in America. Yeah, that might be true. I don't know. Probably is true, because I do remember a giant pipeline. But we do have Alaska. So, share and share alike. And then be labeled as the stupidest people in the world. Why would you be that? I think that'd be advantage everybody. So why would you think that it would be a disadvantage? I mean, there's some stuff that would be a disadvantage, but I mean, overall, I think it'd be a good thing for everybody. There's gonna be some stuff you don't like, but that's life. There's always gonna be some stuff you don't like. Tell me, what stuff do you give us? Money? TDS, that's what you guys say when you have nothing constructive to say. No, not quite. That's just what we say when we recognize what the hell's going on. You know, you can only like harp on the mistakes of somebody who openly admits his mistakes, because he did say it. He said the last presidency got kind of wild because he had the wrong people as advisors around him. But to be a man to recognize the mistakes and take accountability, I gotta give the man a point for that one. There was a point there where I didn't like Donald Trump either, but there was a point where I started thinking, this is starting to sound kind of crazy. I gotta look back into where this started to go haywire at, because I didn't always not like Donald Trump. It started in right about the early Obama years, because where the hell did Obama come from? He just out of the blue popped up and was the candidate. So it's like, all right, so you got to kind of learning through the media and stuff. Yeah, I got caught up in the media. Learning through the media who this guy was, and then you got Trump yelling in the crowd about his birth certificate like he wasn't born here, and then we got caught up in the color wars, you know, the whole black president, because I know I definitely voted for him because he was black both times. Yeah, I did that mistake. Well, actually, the first time, no. Second time, it had a little bit of inspiration, but I voted more for him the second time because he had a decent appearance to his presidency, because I didn't know what I know now. Right about then, it was about 2005 maybe. Yeah, about 2005. 2005 when things started getting hot. So I came out of the woodwork and started voting. I voted for the first term for Obama, voted for the second term for Obama, but I was listening to all the stuff in between. Then come to the part where Trump gets elected. I didn't vote in that period because I wasn't sure what was going on. Stuff was starting to sound kind of fishy. It wasn't quite right. By the end of Obama's term, I was kind of like, the whole Trump hoax and yada, 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 all the stuff that went on back then. No need to dive too deep into that. But all that kind of like made me go, I used to get a lot of business advice from Mr. Trump. When did I start not liking him? Well, I could see how right now I could start not liking him because it sounds kind of crazy right now. So, I'm gonna just kind of chill for a second. So I didn't vote. So comes time for his whole first presidency term to end, and things was looking crazy. Y'all seen it. It was looking crazy, madness. He got securities and armed guards at churches and people in the street freaking out and whatever the hell was going on in Seattle, and you got Washington in turmoil and America can't pay bills, and it was crazy. But that wasn't his fault. It was them operatives that's what he was talking about, was the swamp. So anyway, moving forward, I started finding all this information out, and then I started realizing that the media was duping us. Because lo and behold, while it was making it look like this and that and this and that, when you listen to the whole statement, there's a whole different thing that was being said. Like that insurrectionist, that's not how it went. That's Nancy Pelosi. That's a Nancy Pelosi job. I watched them whole tapes. So that's what we talk about with the Trump derangement syndrome. You got to update your hard drive as far as like how it goes with the events that Trump was involved in, or his name's been thrown into, and that whole felon stuff. I actually don't even care. To be completely honest with you, I just don't even care, because you know what? I've been victimized by the courts too. Pretty much in the same fashion, except for a whole lot lesser degree. And, I got my record and stuff, all that stuff is like cleaned up and blah, 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 but no, I ain't got no stuff, but I've had to stare down the court and be like, what? How did we end up at this point? You know what I'm saying? As a Canadian, I would want to lose my military traditions and would not want to lose RCMP. Oh, absolutely. Nah, I fully agree with you on that one. Fully agree with you on that one. The Mountie police gotta stay. The Canadian military traditions gotta stay. We got military traditions too. People come into our military with traditions. Traditions are to be started, traditions are to be passed, traditions are to be shared. I agree with keeping traditions. You can't have character without traditions. You got to keep traditions. If Canada was to become the 51st state, traditions are off the table. Don't touch. There's a lot of things I like about being Canadian. There's a lot of things I like about Canada. You know what? It has to stay Canadian. I mean, we could cooperate with government-wise, but let me start that over. There's a lot of things that I like about being Canadian. There's a lot of things I like about being Canadian that I would not want to lose because they are in direct competition with America brands. I like the competition. I love that we are so different. But are we that different? Y'all got stuff you do different. Like, we got stuff in every state that we do different. Like you take New York is way different than Dakota. Both of them. The Dakotas are pretty much the same, but they're a little different too. But yeah, I agree with you on that one. You gotta keep the traditions. That goes along with that other question. Gotta keep the traditions there. That's the fun of it. See, that's what I was talking about earlier. It would go down with what does your state bring? What is your state known for? You know what? That'd be a good video to watch. We should do that. I don't know if y'all know a whole lot about the states, but we can look and see. I know there's videos on what is each state known for, but I wonder if there's some on what are each province is known for. I have to check that out. Let me write that down. Yes, you do want our resources. You want what we have up north. That's why you want Canada and Greenland. No. We have resources. For the Arctic, you know what? Speaking of the Arctic, you ever get hit by that Arctic air? Oh, yeah. You ever get hit the wrong way by that Arctic air? All right, so for the Arctic, also Americans got to check their ego. It's embarrassing. What do? What happened? Oh God, like no country can truly survive purely on their own resources. All right, well, we'll just stop giving you money. You heard him, he said subsidiaries. He said subsidiaries. All we want you to do is just get that border cleaned up. We got all this craziness coming down here because they got too much freedom that we don't have that y'all said we didn't have, that you got more of. You ask me what I think and then you delete my comment? Dude, you got like, how many comments you got? You got like 5 comments up here. What you talking about? I did ask you what you think. I didn't delete it. It must be somebody else. I asked you what you think. Oh wait, okay. So you got, this is 3 days. 3 days. 3 days. 3 days. No. What comment are you missing? I don't know. As if Yankees can't even come together and manage the LA crisis. Yankees is on the north side. That's on the west side, yo. They on the west side. So yeah, to manage the LA crisis, yeah, that's a big faux pas right there. That whole situation is FUBAR, to speak of it. That would be, all right, check this out. I know a little bit about y'all's government. So what we just went through with the Trump and Biden, which I didn't vote for Biden. So with the whole Trump and Biden thing, you know, Biden was blue, Trump was red. And I understand your guy up there, Pierre, is blue. And the other dude, what's his name? The governor. Trudeau. He was like red. So yours is like backwards of ours, but the same problem. If I understand it correctly. Pierre's a pretty decent dude too. We should do a video looking at him. That dude's, I saw a video. He was doing this interview with this newscaster. He was like standing in some field or something. He was eating an apple. That motherfucker's a boss. I like Pierre for what that video, that interview. He was like, so yeah, what did I say?
A lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
Like who?
I don't know who, but
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
You must know somebody.
Okay, I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given, you know, not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
What are you
also
talking about? What page? What page?
I was like, this dude is cold. I like his style. I don't know if y'all like his style, but from I saw him being a boss with that reporter, I like that. That was cool. That was cool as hell. All right, so About that fire though, yeah. So what I was gonna say is take this year's voting map, right? Take the whole voting map with the red and the blue. The whole map basically red. Look at the blue spots. Look at all the blue spots. All them blue spots, that's the problem. Because if you look at those, that's all the high crime, high whatever is going on issues. It's crazy. The states got something going on, like Illinois, Chicago. You can't even tell me the second largest city in Illinois. See? Because you only know Chicago because of the problems. Speaking of the fires again, Trump actually told them that was going to be a problem. He told Gavin Newsom would be the blue side, that he was going to have a problem. He needed to go and clean up the forest. You know, y'all got forests up there. You know what I'm talking about. Clean up the forest, manage the woods, you gotta do the maintenance. And he refused to. What he did was he lowered the finances to the fire department, lowered the personnel to the fire department, put a DEI person, the diversity, equity, inclusiveness, I think that's what it's called, person in there. No, that's part of the reason I left the fire department, because of that affirmative action. As a black man, I do not like and do not stand by affirmative action or DEI. I think if you earned it, you get it. Done. Like, come on now, what we doing here? We're getting back to common sense. I like that statement that Trump said. I'm backing him. Even if I haven't liked the president, I haven't wished for him to fail. Because if your president fails, then where are you left at? You know what I'm saying? It just don't make sense. You gotta use some rationing, some common sense there. I don't hope a president fail. I did not like Biden. I always knew he was about that life, because that whole before he was even vice president, I knew that man was crazy. That's why Obama used to call him Crazy Joe. I mean, come on now. The president he was with the president used to call him crazy. We knew he was crazy, and then you put him in the presidency and got a crazy result. What you thought? He tried to put everybody back in chains, because you want to talk about some losses of some freedoms. That's some losses of some freedoms. They got women all worked up thinking that you're losing rates. You're not losing rates. What right don't you have? You got everything that a man can do. I don't understand that one. But that's neither here or there. I just thought it was kind of a trick. If this were 8 years ago, I would say, fuck no. But after those 8 years under Trudeau, I seen that. Y'all had it bad up there too. Hey, I was really rooting for those truckers. He said he really don't just give a shit anymore. You kind of do. I think you kind of do. You love your country in some way, shape, or form. There was a time where I'm going to tell you what. During that time where I was not voting, I was not trying to wear an American flag. I wasn't sure where the country was going. I didn't want to give up the country. That's just crazy talk. I miss the days you did not need a passport to visit the States. Man, those were the good old days. Those were the good old days. You know what though? I have my passport. I'm trying to take the wife up there. She ain't never been to Niagara, and I'm excited to go back up and see it. I don't know if y'all, did I just like my own camera? My own. Oops. I appreciate y'all for hanging out. I'm not sure how long this video is gonna be. Oh shit, I just did it again. Yeah, I don't like that. She kind of wished bad stuff on herself. But yeah, thank y'all for coming by and dropping some comments up in here. I appreciate everything you got going on, homie. Hell yeah. Word, rock on. Hey, I'm gonna get another video put up for y'all as soon as I get this bad boy edited up. Put the special touch on it. Once again, thank y'all for the new subs. I appreciate that. Thank you for all the comments. That gives me help rolling around in the algorithm. I appreciate y'all. All right, I'm about to be up out here. I'm gonna go orbit around something else and see what's popping. I'll get y'all some more videos out here quite soon. Stay tuned. Deuces.